First of all, congratulations for being elected the first female University of Zimbabwe Student Representative Council President.
Thank you so much.
A lot of people would want to know who is this person, who is, just in brief, who is Abiona?
Okay. My name is Abiona Mataranyika, and I grew up in Mutare, went to Brain Primary School, Mutare Girls High, and here I am now.
Yes, and in your family, how many are you?
We're three. I've got one brother and an older sister.
Yes, who is the oldest and the youngest?
I am the youngest, I'm the last born, and my sister is the oldest, and then I have a brother in between.
Okay.
Yes.
What are you studying at University of Zimbabwe?
I'm studying what we call HFPO, and it's an abbreviation for honors in French and Portuguese.
Why did you choose such a faculty?
I've really been always interested in languages, because when I grew up around the time in Ontario where diamonds were trending, and we used to stay with foreigners from Guinea and Angola and Congo. So they would speak in their language. So growing up at that time, I was very young. I think I was still in primary when they would stay in our house, and they would speak in French and some would speak in Portuguese. So from there I really got interested in languages, and then here I am now.
Not in diamonds.
Not really.
No, that's fine. But now that you have made history and becoming the first female SRC president, how did it start?
Okay, so this is what happened. I feel like I've always been an activist within, but then it was last year around this time when there was SRC elections, and as usual they do their door-to-door campaigns, and then they came to my room and knocked the door and then allowed them to come in, and they came in, and then they started telling me their manifestos and what they had in store for us. And then I really got interested in their ideas and other reasons why I got interested in them. And I cannot mention those reasons, but I really got interested in their union and the ideologies that they had. And from there, I joined the union. I also became the campaign manager for one of the secretary generals. And they also saw the zeal that was in me, and then they decided to make me the chair lady of the union. That's how I joined this whole activism, and that's how I joined NAS.
Quite interesting. And now, that's when now you say to yourself, I'm offering myself to lead the union and the students.
Yes, they were other people that really wanted to be the incumbents, really, but I just told myself, no, I feel like it is high time women are also given the opportunity to be in certain positions that have been labeled as positions for men. Yes, so we actually held our primary elections, and there were 3 guys that were also contesting for that positions, and we were given a chance to launch our manifestos, and to my surprise, everything worked in my favor.
Just in brief, what was in your manifesto, that led you to win?
As you know, 3/4 of the population here are women, and women were there on that day, and then I explained that it is high time that women also get to be in that position. And secondly, I felt like here at the University of Zimbabwe, condoms are given for free, and I believe that sex is a choice, but menstruation is not. So I felt like it was high time that women also got free sanitary wear in their households, just the same way as condoms are given for free. And I also felt like women are also supposed to be empowered and be put on certain positions, and other very popular points that whenever you say to students things like accommodation, I felt like accommodation here is not really transparent the way it is applied, because I remember this semester when people were applying, Rez was only open for something like 15 minutes, and then to my surprise I would hear that all the rooms had been filled already, and those were some of the points that I said to the people, and then they were very happy. But I don't really think it was the point. Sometimes it's usually the way that you articulate some of the points and the confidence that I had, looking at the fact that I was a woman who was competing against popular men And so I think that was the reason that people voted me in their favor.
And when you're campaigning to be the SRC president, how much support did you get from the males and the female students?
I got a lot of support from the male, and it was very surprising because I remember I was actually afraid to go to hostels like NC3 and NC2 because I felt like, oh my god, the reception I'm going to get there, I don't know how they're going to react. But to my surprise, when we went there, I actually didn't go for the door-to-doors because I was very afraid because they were going to attack me or they were going to lash out or something like that. But then when we went there, we did a mass campaign in the hostels, and the reception was very good. And there's this slogan that I would work with, and then the moment I did the slogan, the reception I got was very surprising. And even on the election day, I had given them certain stickers when I went there. There were stickers that I was giving people, and then they would put them behind their phones. And then on the election day, I would actually see the boys with those stickers behind the phone. So I can't really complain of the reception that I got from some of the men. But some of them, chauvinism is always there, sexism is always there. Some were not for the idea. So yeah, things like that are to be expected.
Okay, you said one of the things that you got a lot of interest was the slogan. Can we share the slogan that you used during your campaign?
Okay, so there's the slogan, and then if I say Pai and then say Pachikaro, right? It was just a slogan that meant that women should rise up and attain to be in certain positions. Of course, other people were not really comfortable with that slogan because they associate the word with something else I wouldn't know. But yes, it became one of the popular slogans, yeah. And whenever people would meet me on my way, they would say the slogan to me because it became one of those very catchy slogans, yeah.
Okay, and who were you competing with for the post?
In my union?
No.
In other unions, different unions?
Yeah.
I was competing with one guy by the name Wilbert Zaruwetu from Zikosu. And then there's another guy by the name Enoch Karaga from Zinaso Alliance, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was one Nicholas from a union called Yards and yes.
And during your campaign period, did you face any challenges as a female candidate?
Of course, yes. I really faced a lot of challenges like trolling, you know what trolling is? Cyberbullying and defamation of character, where people would just frame. I remember at the time when people just made up a story that I had been given sanitary way or 2,000 pairs by this organization that's called She Needs Support, and then the story blew out of proportion and the news was all over, even on Twitter. Everyone was just talking about it. But then at the end of the day, there's one thing about elections and campaigning. What you need to do is, when you are campaigning, you need to talk to people on a personal level, and then they get to know you personally, and you create this loyalty. So people were never really moved with this propaganda or what people had to say about my personality or anything else about me. So yes, I faced those challenges, but for me, I never really got moved because when I decided to be in this position, I knew that not everyone was going to like me. I'm not Manny, so not everyone will like me, and I was expecting criticism from people.
And on the voting day,
yes,
how was you feeling?
I was very nervous for a second because as I mentioned the story about me stealing the sanitary way and selling it and opening a shop. I feel like the people that were saying that, they took that whole thing seriously. You know, that moment when someone really believes their lie and really puts so much effort in it, and then they'll start singing by the door and telling people don't go vote for her because they actually composed the song for that. Then they would sing, and then I felt like, oh, what are people going to think? People are going to start believing what they were saying. So for me, it actually went and sat behind the building that the election was taking place. I felt like, okay, I'll just leave this to my campaign team to do the campaign for me, and let me just see how it goes. Because actually, time when the opposition was actually bringing buses and commuter-owned buses with a lot of people. But then to my surprise, I saw people texting me, don't worry, we are in their buses, but we know where we are going to vote. And then people would actually move with a motto called It's because of what's nice. And then they would get t-shirts from the opposition union and food and whatever, and then they would lie to them that we are going to vote for you, but then they would go and vote for me.
But did you believe it also? You know, because obviously, imagine someone is in the opposition camp, but they are just promising you the vote. Did you believe in what they were saying? Because obviously, maybe there were also some people in your camp who were also doing the same, saying, we are with Abiona, but we are going to vote for you.
Well, I believed, because I felt like my campaign, I really worked hard to get people's trust and support. So I felt like everyone who was telling me that they were going to support me, they were genuinely supporting me, and they really came and voted for me. And the results proved it all.
And who was in your campaign team?
There was Mona Lisa, she was my campaign manager, and assisted by Ebenezer and this other guy called Goody, and other former students here, like Alan Moyo, and those on attachment like Alan Mawaya, Leroy Madosi, Michelle Muniped, she's my best friend, and other people to mention.
And on the voting day after the cast were read, how many did you get?
I got 2,511.
And the closest rival?
1,100.
And Abiona, when the results were announced, how did you feel?
Well, to be honest, I was not happy. Not because I was not happy with the result, really. I was not happy because of what was happening outside. Because I was really expecting that if I win, I'm going to go outside, I'm going to jump on people, and we're going to celebrate. But then the events that happened on that day, I was not really happy, and I didn't even sleep here talking to my friends, you know. So, of course, yes, I was happy afterwards later on, but then on that day, I was not really happy. It really didn't get to my mind that I had goals, so I'm surprised. I'm supposed to celebrate, but I didn't really celebrate on that day. But afterwards, yes, I did, because people started celebrating in my absence here in my hostel. Then the girls were singing, I don't know who realized that I was here, and then people came and grabbed me out of my room. And I was even wearing a morning gown. Then they grabbed me, and then they took me to the foyer. Then they started singing. Then they knelt down singing, yes. That's when I celebrated a little.
You said you didn't really celebrate when the results were announced because of the events that were happening outside.
Yes.
What was it?
I'm not really sure of the precise details, but the only thing I saw was the riot police was outside, and people were storming the building that we were in. I remember when the votes were even being counted, someone threw a stone in the building on the glass, but then the glasses, I feel like they're very strong. The stone just bounced back, and then the glass didn't break. It only had a crack, but then it didn't break. So I was now scared, and I could see the chief security had blood all over him. I really don't know the details of what was happening outside, but I know that violence broke and the riot police had to come. But the precise details, I do not know.
Now, you're on the hot seat. What next should you expect, or should the students expect from Abiona?
The students should expect change, because one of the mottos that I was moving with was change that excites. I'm here to bring change. I will use so people were telling me that as I was campaigning, people would say she's using her gender to get pity from people. And as you all know, people are moving with the notion that the future is female, and I actually have organizations that have been communicating with me and willing to help, and I will use that to my advantage and to the advantage of the students. As I told you before, I am moving for the idea that women get free sanitary way in their hostels, and there's been organizations talking to me about it, and I'm sure they are going to help me with the sanitary pads, no matter what the number is. The most important thing that is I deliver, one of the things that I was promising people, right? And then there are also things like improvement in the food quality that the students eat. So the way the food is cooked here is very sad. Yes, very sad. And of course the economy is very hard, yes, but then improperly cooking food has nothing to do with the economy. So I will try to talk to the chefs here and negotiate with them so that at least they can try and cook the food properly, because we all come from homes where we eat beans, but then if you see the way it's cooked here, you'd really be surprised. So we really want to improve certain things that we cannot really change, but at least we can bring improvements to those things. And things like transport, we're going to try and talk to the Minister of Transport so that he can provide a lot of transport for the students, because sometimes students end up going home late because they're waiting for the buses, because they really do not have a lot of money to go home with commuter only buses that will be outside.
The fact that you are the first female UZ SRC president, what does that mean to you?
It means that I have paved way for other females to aspire to be in this position. I was very happy, and me being happy of being the incumbent right now was nothing to do with me being the best person for that position, but I was very happy because I have empowered other women that have always been scared to be in this position, scared of the cyberbullying, the trolling, the abuse, the emotional abuse, the sexual harassment, the whatever that comes with being a woman and wanting to be in this position. So it really means that I have paved way, and next time if a woman says I want to be in this position, I will really support them, because I wanted to be in this position so that I can aspire other women to be in this position. So it really means a lot to me, and I really hope I have really inspired a lot of women to be in this position.
Who is your female politician or activist who inspires you most in Zimbabwe?
In Zimbabwe, there's one, Joanna Momombe. She's one of the women who really has a lot of energy, and she has so much zeal and student activism. And she was also one of the females who ran for the Secretary General and won. And she really has so much energy in her, and I've always wanted to be like her. Of course, she ran for the Secretary General position, and I ran for the presidency. But I feel like she has been one of my mentors, and I really wanted to be like her, although I was running for a different position from the one that she ran for. And other people like Cecilia, yes, those are some of the women that really inspired me to be in this position.
Can we say this is the foundation of your political career?
Well, I'm not really in a position to say, but let the future determine.
But it's true, how we're supposed to. Should we see the end of Abiona's activism with the end of your tenure? Or should we say she laid the foundation when she became the SRC president?
Yes, I have laid the foundation. But you know, with time, mindsets change, things change. So let the time determine what the future holds for me. Yes.
And to all the females out there who would want to participate in any decision-making position, what is your advice to them?
I feel like there is no formula to success. I'm just a mere student of French and Portuguese, yeah? There were also other people that were aspiring to be in this position that are actually studying political science and more prestigious programs than the one that I am studying right now. And I would like to tell the girls that there is no formula to success, and nothing is impossible in life. You can be in any position, no matter the background that you come from, no matter who you are or whatever position you are in right now. Nothing is impossible. So I'm appealing to women to aspire in this position, and nothing is impossible, I will repeat.
And when you told your parents that you are now the leader of SRC, what were their first words?
They said congratulations. I come from a very religious home. I'm an Adventist. Yes, and you know what that means. And they're not really happy from the word go, because when parents send their children to school, what is on their timetable is someone is going to school and study and get higher grades only, right? So when they hear that their daughter is now participating in student activism, obviously they will get worried. And looking at the fact that I come from a religious home, you know, the principles of those religious parents. And I feel like when I told them, I actually didn't tell them that I had won the position. It is because when we were still counting the votes, when the violence broke, the news was all over Instagram, Facebook, tweeted that there's violence at UZ because one Abiona Mataranyika has been said to have been war and people didn't accept the result. So they were really worried. So when I saw their messages saying, "Are you safe? Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm okay. Yes, I'm safe." And then they just said, "Congratulations." I don't know if they genuinely meant that, but then I feel like they are now in a position where they have no option other than to just accept what is on the table.
And your last words to the people that voted you and others that did not vote for you?
I really want to say thank you to everyone that voted me to be in this position. And right now I'm not the president. I'm no longer the president for Zinasu. I'm not the president for the students. So whether this person voted for me or this person didn't vote for me, I'm still going to be their president, and I hope to work with everyone in a good manner and hoping to socialize with everyone and bringing change to the students.